hate puppies. It's a good podcast.
I feel threatened. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Inside the Pallet House. I'm kind of glad to hear that mic didn't completely just explode when I talked into it this time. Long story, but those in front of me know exactly what I'm talking about. Hope you guys have had a great week. Today we are joined by an interesting crew. We do not have Troy. We do not have Ely. But we've got Stu, which is great news.
Thank you.
See? Look how excited everybody is.
Always good news to have Stu.
Yeah, long time, Chris. How are you doing, buddy?
Good, man.
I'm glad to have you back. I don't think we've had you on since it was a ghetto ski trip show.
No, it was after that. It was
Oh, yeah, of course. I remember.
M4K.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, with Keo.
That would make sense. God, that's coming up on us soon. I'll be looking horrible
Yeah.
very soon.
Chester the Molester.
Not too excited
Always a
about
favorite.
that. And we got Sealy here, man.
Hey,
How
man.
are you?
Hey, I'm good.
So we got actually 75% of the room is tatted up. And then there's the guy who doesn't need to compensate for anything. It's just looking good. I'll let you all figure out which one it is. Today's actually an awesome day. This is probably my favorite day of football season because I'm a Bears fan and Super Bowls are kind of irrelevant. It's fantasy draft day, which is always awesome. I know we don't talk a lot about sports on here, but fantasy draft day is something that I think most everybody who does fantasy sports understands. It is the pinnacle of your entire fantasy football season.
Yeah, your whole season is decided on one night.
If it goes well.
It goes well.
A good day.
Exactly.
It literally is. Like, it all comes down to did you drink too many beers? And so do a podcast before. That's a great idea.
And did you get the right kicker?
That is actually how Stu handles his draft. Unfortunately, I've seen that far too many times
How
out
do we
of
get
him.
Stu in this league? Who can we kick out to get Stu in here?
I mean, look, he's pretty close to being in the league right now. I'm going to destroy this, Mike.
I would.
Yeah,
Sorry.
It's funny. Once, like, the 5th or 6th round hits,
Nobody
you
cares.
can tell Stu starts getting that itch.
He does. He's like, I got to get myself a kicker bad.
It's going to happen.
It's kicker time.
It's just.
Guys, if you look at the numbers, it could be one of your biggest scorers.
Tucker's the first in his queue.
It's all good.
I'm going to throw this mic in a river.
It doesn't sound bad.
Stu, I have a trained ear. And then you lean in and just turd all over it. Yeah. Yeah, something went wrong in the pregame. That's for sure.
Stu.
Oh, that's right. Now I remember what it was. Stu dropped the entire system all over the ground, and it created quite the commotion.
It's okay. I got a closing. I'll pay for the new one.
I like that attitude. Well, Stu, actually, you broke the kegerator and the fridge over there, too, when you dropped everything. You're amping it up, huh?
Just my own ears.
There you go. Okay, good enough. Yeah, no, so I'm excited. Today is the best day of fantasy football season. Have you guys done any pregame studying or work or reading all of the articles that are out there that have been flooding your feed?
I did a 5-round mock draft this afternoon.
No,
So
no.
basically an expert.
5 rounds?
Basically an expert. You get to that 5th round, it's fucking boring at that point.
So you've
let it
got
go.
your first 5 picks kind of mapped out, assuming everything goes exactly like that
Only
mock draft
if
did.
I'm pick 8. I'm locked. And my team, I don't know how it worked out this way. All white receivers.
Oh, I know how that worked out. Racist. If you're picking, that's
Not at all. Not at all.
that team's not
Slow
going
it down.
to work. I would go ahead and
That's what happens when you go running back, running back, running back.
I would abandon your mock draft approach today.
Felt
That
good
would be
about
my advice to you.
I spent about 15 minutes going through different guys' top 200s, and I just look at their picture and figure out which one looks smart, and then I take
looks
his
big.
I take his top 200, and that's my deal.
Oh, so you go through and you find the guy. So you're not looking at the player. You're looking at the pundit
Right.
and going, that guy looks like a wizard. I'm going with him.
Yeah, they all had the same title, senior editor, but that guy looks smart, so I'm going with his numbers.
Interesting.
I don't know if that's the way to do it.
Interesting. We'll see.
Actually, I've done that before, though, for like NCAA brackets, I've gone through and been like, look at this nerd. He's got to know his stuff, because how does a nerd get to this level of the pundit game unless they're really good? Because it's not like someone went, hey, I really liked you on Duke, I'm going to put you on the team, or you were great for the Bears. It's like, no, you just are a nerd who figured it out.
Yeah, and these assholes are getting paid tens of thousands of dollars. And they're a lot smarter than I am.
Yeah, you know what, though? They're never held accountable for bad decisions. Ever.
Yeah, true.
That is.
Well, look at their stats. You can hold them accountable.
But a lot of times you can just state the obvious. I mean, I literally, since fantasy football, feel like an NFL analyst. I really do. That's why I just didn't even waste any time. I just watch NFL Live.
This is going to be fun.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to your draft picks. I literally did no prep whatsoever. And then last night, Stu and I were out here drinking a few beers, kind of cleaning up, which now the whole place has gone to pot again. It's amazing. And after Stu left, I opened up like my software that I used and looked at it. And I clicked around in there for about 15 minutes before I came to the conclusion. I was like, you don't know what you're doing, dude. You better get some sleep, because you're going to need to be on your game.
What do they call it? Proprietary
Wow.
information? I can't even say it. But he waited until I got out of there to open up his magic box and
Software.
say, I'm going to pick these guys.
That's what I do, man. I pay for my fantasy knowledge.
It's worked out well.
You look, I'm always in the
last 3 years.
I'm always in the running. I would argue
In the running to get into the playoffs, just not quite getting there.
I would argue though that the software allows me to get a really good team during the draft, and then the problem is that I then coach that team down to the toilet all season long.
If Yahoo ever gives you a good draft grade, you're in trouble.
Kiss
That's
of
one
death.
thing. That's one thing
That's
I've noticed throughout the years.
That's absolutely a fact. It really is the kiss of death. If you're on like a Yahoo league or ESPN league and they're like, you nailed it. Like, damn it.
Mine goes,
Give it up now. Start trade.
You want to get a solid C. If they give you a C, they're like, you have some good players. You made some risky moves based on Jamie's info that we're pumping into the system. And then it's like a C just means you took the right risks, you got some all right players, and you didn't just follow the Yahoo rankings, the whole time. Like every schmuck that just takes next best player, they're like A+. No.
A C or a Super Bowl contender.
Dude, more than fantasy
fact.
football, I'm ready just to hang out and put on jeans and sweatshirts and eat an obscene amount of wings and get this fantasy food challenge on the rails.
Dude, I am
Second
looking
that.
forward to Fantasy Food Challenge. For those that don't know, we run this football league here, this fantasy football league, and all the guys come over to the Pallet House and drink beers. But we tweaked it a couple years ago where whatever your draft position is, that particular week of the NFL season, you are in charge of feeding all the assholes that show up here. And then we rank you according to the food you brought. And it has turned into a Stu, what's the word? Proprietary. It's become a proprietary cavalcade of food.
Cavalcade.
There it is. There's another L in there. Sweet
Cavalcade
Jesus.
of
That's
food.
my first L of the season.
Stu, pull up thesaurus.com just in case we need it.
Yeah.
I'm going to need that for sure.
God.
Yeah, we're going on year 3 now. So
Yeah.
a lot of the novelty shit
right.
is out the window. Everybody's got to step it up.
Everybody but one guy. We've got one guy in the league who's like, this is bullshit. I never signed up for this crap. And he shows up with like Domino's pizza every year. And
Old
it
Domino's
just-
Marshall.
It just breaks my heart. And now we've given him such a hard time about being a cheapskate that he's like, oh, yeah, I'll show you.
It's just
I'll
expected.
get worse. So he went from Costco pizza to Domino's pizza. This year it's going to be Stouffer's French bread.
I'm not sure. I think he might have thought that was a step up.
No, Totino's Party Pizzas. Definitely
Ooh.
Totino's Party Pizzas.
And some
That
bagel
might be a
ones.
step up.
That's
oh,
not bad.
bagel bites.
Bagel bites would be fantastic.
Yeah,
Is that pepperoni or just some part of the pig no one's heard of?
Yeah, but
Totino's in the microwave.
with this crew, you need 500 bagel bites.
Yeah.
Fat jokes too?
No, I'm just saying. I see you guys eat.
No, just saying.
So, yeah, but my fantasy league, I think, is going to go. Mine ebbs and flows back and forth every year. I complete dumpster fire last year, so pick drafting first this year, and I'll be good to go.
Well played.
I'm just saying. That's the way I do it. Kicker kills me one year, and then next year it's all good.
And then you get the best kicker, and you're solid.
Well, it's on. We're going to be doing some beer drinking for the next 16 weeks. So everyone, get your fat pants out. It's go time. Anything with a drawstring, that's the one.
I've been waiting.
The stretchy khakis.
Yeah, you look like you've been doing nothing but working out.
I've been waiting. I'm just preparing. I'm gonna prepare for this season coming up.
Oh, yeah, he forgot how to get near a mic, didn't he?
Preparing for the season.
It's all downhill.
Yeah, no, you guys are all in good shape. You guys have a pretty good base going into the season.
You've been hitting the gym, man. We get your Marco Polos every time you're in there.
Yeah, it's because I intentionally Marco Polo when I get to the gym. I don't say shit till I'm in front of a machine. Like, oh, it's a Smith rack. You wouldn't know shit about it.
Yeah, I'm just doing one
What are you
arm
guys
curls because I'm holding the phone with my other hand.
That's right.
Every time I see you, you're just walking around the gym. You're not actually doing anything. I think you
You're
just
sure
go
sweating
there.
a lot, though.
Well,
Just
you
walking.
can't physically hold a phone while you're doing work.
I don't know.
The timing adds up. It makes sense.
Dude, I know you guys have had some gym talk, but there's this guy who goes to the gym with Ely and I who wears nothing but tank tops that have gym sayings on them. That's the only thing he wears.
A bunch of the same shirt.
Like what's a gym saying? Like I flexed and the sleeves blew off.
No, so
This is
There's one guy at my gym who wears that tank top every time, and he's got no arms, and I'm like,
One of my
dude,
favorites.
you just need arms.
That's what makes it great. I mean, that's the guy who needs to wear that. The guy who's got big arms is the douche.
no, he's got the worst one. So he has one that's curls for the girls,
Love
what?
Nice.
sun's out,
Classic.
guns out.
Oh yeah, that's a great gym
Knows
shirt.
that one.
And my favorite one he has says, "I got 99 problems, but a bench ain't one."
Yes.
This guy
I
rules.
must meet him.
I want to work out with this guy. Mostly just to raid his closet.
I mean, look, I've seen some scary gym attire before, and the worst to me, and please, I don't think this would be you. The skin tight, like X-Men or Captain America
Yes.
joints. Come on, man. Come on. Anybody who listens and is wearing that.
Oh, there was a couple
Don't.
weeks ago, Ely and I were in there, and he was like, "So when did it become a thing that when you come to work out, you're supposed to look like a superhero?"
And it's true though. I mean, you see more Marvel comic and DC comic gear in the gym than the Comic Con.
Yeah, Ely was like, "That motherfucker might as well be wearing a cape."
That's next on the list.
Dude, that's what you got to do. You got to get a cape. Go to the gym in that. That's where it's at.
Yeah, I've seen the Wolverine. There's one particular guy who rocks them all. There's the Wolverine, Captain America. I haven't seen the Spider-Man one yet. I feel the need to say something to him.
I feel like I want to join whatever league that Coffee and Kilos. You ever see those guys who do Coffee and Kilos? And it's like, I just think those shirts are cool. Like, that's a cool group to be in. It's like
Not
these dudes
sure.
get up and they work out early in the morning, like have their coffee and then go to the gym. And they all wear these shirts, say Coffee and Kilos. And I'm like, that's a dope ass shirt. That's
Never
a
seen
good-
it.
I'm in River City Miatas. I mean, it's like that's not a dope ass shirt.
So you're the guy someone else is talking about on their podcast.
Yeah.
Who's the fucking guy?
With the pink Miata shirt.
I don't know, but he's swole.
You're being talked about, though. You're being talked about.
There's no doubt about that. Actually, Stu, you had a quite the Miata week last week. You rented a Miata.
No, I didn't.
Don't
similar.
fool yourself.
It was the so it was the 2019 Fiat Spider 124.
You mean the one that's based entirely on the Miata platform with the Miata engine, Miata suspension, Miata everything, except then they just changed the front end?
Yeah, and the logo's a little cooler.
And Mazda? Even the logo's not reliable on
Yeah.
that thing. Who are you fooling?
I do have to say I saw a ton of Miata. So went out to Anaheim for a real estate convention. Was there for 5 days, 5,000 drunk realtors in a convention hall, which was interesting.
There's a brain trust.
So, but yeah, I took 5 days extra after that, rented the Fiat, and drove the, as they say out there, the PCH.
Can we at least refer to it as the Fiata? I
Fiata?
I can't have you call it a Fiat.
I'll
It
just
is a
say I took
Miata.
this convertible.
The Fiata.
Yeah, the Fiata. We'll
Just
call it the
own
Fiata.
it.
Okay,
Just
Fiata.
own it.
But yeah, dude, great car.
Yeah,
Great
it
car.
is.
Fucking the quickness of it, the shifting, everything, and it was awesome. I mean, and I do have to say, drove up to Monterey. The actual Monterey Car Show was going on that weekend. Saw everything from, the Maybachs.
First gen Miata, second gen Miata, third gen Miata.
I do have to say it
Fiata.
was great. There was all these, bazillion-dollar cars, and I didn't see one other. The entire trip, I didn't see one other Fiata, if you want to call it. I saw a
Yes, I
Miata.
do.
I saw a Miata.
One in a
but
million.
There was no other Fiats, and this car is like you can get it stock off the showroom for like $30,000.
Well, there's the problem right there. You said it's $1 million cars, and yet
Yeah.
not a single
And
$30,000 Fiata.
And I was right in. I mean, it took me
Stood out.
45 minutes to get right through the downtown Monterey where there's 5 blocks and everybody's just showing off their cars. And here I am cruising in a little Fiat.
You stood out
guys,
for
what's
sure.
up?
Fiata.
Did you pull up and get yourself a spot, pop the hood, lean on it?
It was
Whenever anybody came by, you told them, yeah, it's a rental.
so.
He's got a button that says, ask me about my Fiata.
So the cool thing though is
I knew there had to be one.
going through the Turo app. It's the guy.
Oh, yeah. How was
somebody-
the experience, the
that-
Turo experience?
So the Turo experience was awesome. A regular rental car company wanted almost $1,000 for 4 days for the weekend. I got the entire 10 days for $550 to get a convertible.
That's nice.
And Turo is basically Airbnb for cars. Somebody owns the car. They delivered it to the airport. They had a whole valet lot. They paid for my Uber to get the car. They paid for my Uber when I dropped it off. Took pictures for the owner. It was great. And I would suggest if you want to get a dope-ass ride, just look at them because when I went to the valet lot, there was Bentleys and Corvettes, Ford Tauruses, whatnot.
But
it was a good experience.
Got a Miata.
I got a convertible.
So you didn't find anything fun in the car, like dildo in the center console?
Pass the Bentley.
This thing was pristine. I mean, it was only 18,000 miles on it. I did spill some champagne in the console.
Well, yeah, because you should be drinking while driving. What the fuck? There is more to that story.
So
This dumbass is driving through the Monterey Car Show, turning up Sean Don, cruising through in his
Kill
Fiata.
that plug. Kill that plug.
yeah, thought had a little mini bottle of champagne
Incident.
from the hotel, and I had it with me.
Well, you
and-
couldn't fit a whole bottle in
Yeah,
the
no.
Fiata.
There's room for 2 bodies and maybe 2 pieces of luggage, and the cup holders are non-existent almost. Thing doesn't even have a glove box. It's it's
Respect.
space is at a premium, but spilt a half bottle down the middle of the console, just sitting there.
Duly
Not good.
noted, if you're in California renting a Fiata, get it cleaned because the cops may think that you've been
Yeah.
drinking.
But no, I recommend it to anybody. Use Turo, rent a Fiat or a Miata, great car, especially the newer ones, and go drive the fucking.
Was that a dig at my old Miata right there? Is that what I just heard?
Newer.
New car.
It was. I mean, I do have to say it was great driving your car, but it was great, really great driving that new Fiat.
I believe it. But you're officially a convert. Like you can unequivocally say that is a solid vehicle.
Yes,
Excellent news.
you are correct, sir.
Chalking it up. Another Miata fan or Fiata.
Yeah.
That's right.
What I was
Buy
going to
that
say is, if you
Bentley.
guys get the chance to go like from San Francisco to L.A. on the Pacific Coast Highway, do it. It's amazing.
I don't think I've heard anybody ever say anything different. I mean, everybody says that highway is awesome.
I mean,
But you gave me a good tidbit. It's better one direction versus the other, right?
yeah, go south.
I was
you're
going
on
to say, I don't recall ever being on that highway, but everywhere I went when I did a summer in California was traffic. Everywhere, especially around L.A.
Well, I'd never been to California. The first thing I noticed was everything's brown. And I was like, well,
Yeah.
I know why the entire
No
place
rain.
is a tinderbox when they say there's fires.
Yeah.
You had me at Tinder. Just pictures of you next to a Fiata.
This is,
kind of tinderbox you
Oh.
talking about?
I got some pictures to give you.
Specify that tinderbox.
Oh, that's fantastic. His Tinder profile is just him on the hood of a Fiata, laying there like Tawny
Shirtless.
Katane in a White Snake video, flowing white dress.
Wearing a tight ass dong sarong.
Oh, now you're talking.
Just ruined my whole trip.
Yeah. Your swipes will be through the roof. Ooh, Todd likes me.
Game on.
That's awesome. Well, welcome back, man. We missed you. Had to put out a couple episodes without you.
It was well worth it.
Yeah, it was work, man. I had Ely here. That dude is brutal. I noticed. I was listening back to the last episode.
No
Dude,
shit.
That dude is in my ass the whole time. Don't say theater. God forbid you say theater.
Theater.
Man. Yeah, I realized he doesn't like me at all. He comes in here to make fun of me.
No, the first
Someone-
episode he came out and he was on fire. Then the second one started and it was like,
He was gone.
yeah,
Just gone.
yeah.
It was the strangest thing. I was editing the episodes and like you can see each channel, like it shows you like all the spikes and everything, and you got to kind of clean it up. And I see like Troy's channel and my channel, and it's all blue. And then there's Ely's channel, and it's like a couple blips, like bloop, bloop, bloop. I was like, where the hell was he that whole episode? He was just kind of doing his own thing. It happens. Dude, you sent me a topic, and I'm dying to know what it's about.
Oh, yeah?
Because all it said was literally gun. Have you ever had a gun pulled on you? And I was like, what is this topic? Did something happen to you that I'm unaware of? Or?
Yeah, a while back. Has anybody ever had a gun pulled on him?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
Well,
Well, I'm sure Seeley has.
Well,
Dude.
I've been gun butt in the back of the head before, so I never saw it.
Oh,
Just
dude.
woke up. It was actually in Radford by some townies.
Feeling it.
First time I've ever actually been knocked unconscious and woke up in a different place.
How many hours later did you wake up?
It probably wasn't even an hour.
Okay.
We were heading back from what's the one, BT's, one night, and you know me in Radford. It was me and a buddy and
So
a
you
couple.
you had your book bag with you. You were coming back from study hall. I know you from Radford. Yeah.
Exactly.
Surprised somebody tried to attack you. Must have been a hell of an expensive econ book in your arms.
Me and one of the brothers and a couple girls were walking back from BT's, and a couple of townies walked up, you know, a handful of them, and immediately I was inviting the confrontation, let's put it. So right after the shirt comes off, the lights go out.
Oh, no.
I take the shirt off and whop, and then all I remember is waking up in the sorority house. And
At least you were taking-
listening to a conversation. I got hit in the back of the head with a gun.
Damn.
So, and then the rest of them obviously took off running and dragging me. But yeah, that's there's been other confrontations or situations, but never like in face or anything like
Right.
that. I was to shit my pants and run. I imagine that's the way it would happen.
So where are you when you get this pulled on you?
No, so when I was in high school, I worked at Subway sandwich shops.
Yeah.
A buddy of mine owned a couple stores, and I worked at them all through high school.
Is that the official Subway sandwich shops, or is it just Subway?
No, just so people know, it's not like the subway station, like the train. Like sandwich.
That's
not,
why I would have gone.
Not
Yeah.
choo-choo.
Well, yeah, a gun pulled on me in the Subway.
No, so I was working at Subway, and I was in the back cutting tomatoes or some shit, and I hear the register up front just ringing. And whenever you fuck anything up on the register,
Yeah.
it just goes beep, and then I would hear it go off, and then it went again, beep. So I was like, what the fuck is he doing? And a buddy of mine, Scott, is up front. So I come around the corner. I was like, dude, what's going on? He's like, I'm trying to open the register. I was like, okay, did you ring him up yet? And the guy across the counter goes, hurry the fuck up, man.
Oh,
Like, oh, hey there.
that is not good.
And I look at him and I say, 1 second, sir.
The polite.
You'll get your change. sir.
And so I look at Scott. I'm like, so what kind of sandwich did he get? And he was like, no, he wants the money. And I was like, what? And I look across the counter, and the guy
Oh my
pulls
God,
up. The
dude.
guy pulls up his shirt, and he's got a gun tucked in his pants. And he's like, hurry the fuck up, man. I was like, oh, no problem, sir.
Oh, that's a little different.
Ching.
Yeah. I go, doot, open the register.
You want some Subway Club stickers while we're at it? Jeez.
I hand him all the money. He grabs all the money, goes to turn and leave, walks out. This is after we've made him a sandwich.
Hold on. You
Solid.
took the time to make this guy a sandwich?
Yeah.
Oh,
An
and
art-
wait,
they're
can
an
I
artist.
Can
They're
I punch,
artists.
can I punch your card a few times for your extra $6?
Cookie.
What kind of
Cookie
a
with that?
low rent ass holdup artist orders a sandwich after they've just like I understand ordering a sandwich then pulling out the gun, but to go in and be like, I want all your money and a 12-inch roast beef, motherfucker. Like that dude's not thinking, which I could have assumed going in because the dude sounds like the kind of dude hold up a Subway, but jeez, crow.
Well, I imagine it was when he was getting rung up. is when he kind of flashed the pistol.
Yeah, so Scott is standing up there, this skinny-ass little white guy, about to shit his pants.
Yep, that was me. That would have been me, too. I'm like, oh.
So I pop open the register, give him all the money. He turns around, walks out to leave, gets halfway to the door, turns around, walks back up and says, "Can I get a cup?" Grabs a cup, goes over to the soda machine, fills himself up a Diet Coke, throws the lid on, and then walks out.
Slaps his fingerprint up on the on the Coke. They're smart.
Here, do you need any more information to catch me?
This is a low rent ass robbery.
Yeah. No, they fingerprinted like the whole sneeze guard that they had in front of the thing. They fingerprinted the soda machine.
Oh.
Went through all that shit with the cops, and I called my boss, and I was like, "Hey, we just got held up." He's like, "Oh, fuck." He's like, "How much money do they get?"
I bet.
I was like, "I don't know, like $200." He was
And
like,
a party sub.
And a fucking roast beef with extra roast beef.
But
he was like, "All right, are the cops still there?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "All right, tell him it was $700."
Yes. That's a good owner.
That's a good boss.
That's actually pretty
Yeah.
genius.
He didn't ask, "Are you guys all right? Is everybody cool?"
At no time was that.
He said, "Tell him it's $700."
You got to pay for the cleanup.
Solid.
That dusting takes up everything.
Yeah, that night Scott called me after he got home, and he was like, "Yeah, my mom and dad said I can't work there anymore."
And the dude took
That doesn't
$700
surprise me.
and the Coke freestyle machine.
Freestyle.
Yeah, I told my mom, and she was like, "Oh, really? That's crazy." All right, see ya.
What time you work tomorrow?
Yeah. You need a paycheck.
Dude, that is the worst. That guy's a horrible robber.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've definitely had my fair share of guns pulled on me. Some circumstances I won't talk about,
Ooh.
and then some that I
Yeah.
some that I will. The worst one of all of them that I still to this day just cannot believe how this one went down. I'm playing Monopoly.
How all the gun stories start.
Not even real money.
playing Monopoly with a crackhead.
Usually, like when you're about to tell a story like this, is like, so we're out drinking all night.
Right.
No, allow me to start with, we are playing Monopoly in Ocean City, Maryland. We're sitting in this little apartment.
That makes more
and
sense.
I got this girl I'm friends with to my right, and it's like her neighbor who's there, and he's always been like a cool dude to me. I don't know what the hell, and we're like hanging out. We're playing Monopoly, and I think we both kind of like the girl. And I'm waxing this dude's ass in Monopoly. Like
You got 3 yellows on Marvin Gardens, and you're like, "Hotels, bitch."
yeah, dude. There's not a railroad I don't know. You know what I mean? Like everything is going my way, and I'm feeling pretty confident about my fake money in my pocket.
$7,000 for Baltic Avenue.
So I'm just running my mouth at this kid, like, "Oh, that's another railroad, motherfucker! You can reading railroad, right, nerd?" Like, I'm in his ass, and the girl's laughing. I'm having a great time because I'm crushing this dude in Monopoly, and then
Monopoly.
he ends up hitting some place where I got a hotel, and I'm letting him have it, and he finally snaps.
So wait, is it just you and him playing the game?
And this girl.
She's watching.
Oh,
She's watching. This one-on-one Monopoly matchup.
No joke, man. I just keep laying into this dude, and he snaps. And he stands up and pulls a gun out of his waistline, puts the thing, points it at me, and he's like, "It's not so funny now, is it? It's not so funny now."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Dude, it's like $500 play dollars.
Jeez.
Like, don't pass go, man. Just take the money." Like, it's Parker Brothers, bro. Yeah. It was unbelievable. I've never been held up over
That's when you
fake
just
money.
You just look at him and say, "You're going to jail."
Yeah, no, that would have been the clever line in the moment. But
You would have definitely landed the chick with that one.
yeah, or been dead. Or been dead.
Weigh your
Do
op-
not pass go.
Yeah, weigh your options.
Yeah, I was not too pleased with
The guy does
with that
not
one.
like to lose.
No, not to me. Not in front of his girl.
Most important question: did you get the girl?
You know, that girl and I never ended up working out. Never did. Probably because I pissed my pants.
I was
in
going to say,
front of-
normally when you shit yourself, it's the wrong direction.
kind of a turn off. I'll give her that.
Man,
It just never worked out. I got friend zoned pretty hard by that girl, which is always
Well, it could
frustrating.
have had something to do with the guy pulling a gun on her if she, went the wrong direction.
I think it's because at the Sadie Hawkins dance afterwards, we watched Indecent Proposal, And I broke up with her because I was so upset that Demi Moore had decided to bang like Robert Redford. And I got so pissed off, I dumped her. I was like, this isn't working out.
Makes more sense.
I like had this whole like epiphany, like these women are just fucking with me, man. They're just sluts for money. And I like broke up with her. And I think I lost some trust.
I've never been held at gunpoint, but I've been accused of a robbery.
No shit.
Yeah.
Hold on, accused of a robbery.
Yeah. So years ago, when I was working at Skilligalee at the restaurant,
Skilligalee. Yeah. My favorite place.
The hell is a Skilligalee?
Skilligalee. It was a seafood restaurant. It's no longer around. It was over.
That's the kind of place you have buttons
No.
all over your suspenders, right?
Yeah, your flare is way down.
Flare.
It was owned by a pirate.
Yeah, it was.
No doubt
It
about
was.
that. You silly Skilligalee.
So it's like 6 o'clock in the evening, waiting tables, and the hostess comes up and says, "Hey, you've got a request at a table." I'm like, "Great, I'll get a good tip." Walk over. It's this single guy, white guy in his mid-40s, and he's like, "Hey, are you Stuart?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm Stuart. How you doing? What can I get for you? You want a Coke, drink, whatnot?" And he's like, "Can we do this inside? You want to do this inside? Or you want to do this outside?"
Were his pants still zipped at the time?
You spit
Yeah.
my Skilligalee.
Yeah. So he's like, "Do you want to do this inside or do this outside?" I'm like, "What do you want to do?" And he just lifts up his shirt. He lifts up his shirt and shows his Richmond City detective badge. And he's like, I'm like, "All right, guess we'll go outside." So we walk outside.
What in the world?
I'm like, I
is
gotta get my
happening?
manager. Oh.
Yeah. So I'm like, "Okay, we'll walk outside." So as soon as I step outside, he reads me my rights.
Oh,
Puts me up against the
shit.
wall, puts me in handcuffs.
How
And I'm
late
like-
were the fucking matzo sticks?
Yeah. So I'm like, "What the hell's going on? What the hell?" And after he reads me my rights, then I'm standing up against the wall, and I look over, and down the end of the restaurant on the front porch, my parents are standing over in the corner,
Oh my god!
and I'm like, "Oh
Dad.
shit!" So I don't know what's going on. They say, "Okay, where were you today?" And I was like, "I've been here since 4 o'clock."
Skilligalee.
Skilligalee working. They're like, "Where is your car?" And at the time, I was driving my '87 Monte Carlo.
The best car you ever had.
So I'm like, "It's down in the parking lot in Kmart." We had to park at Kmart, walk up to Skilligalee. This,
It all adds up.
it all adds up. So they're like, "Where's your car?" I'm like, "It's down there." They're like, "Show us." Walk down there. There's everybody's car in that empty spot. My car was gone.
Oh, shit.
Somebody broke into my Monte Carlo, took a Phillips not a
Best
Phillips,
getaway
no,
car ever.
flathead screwdriver. Sorry, and started the car and drove to Carreras Jewelers at Libby and Grove. Knocked off the store for
Really?
like over 150 grand. And there was a white guy and a black guy in my car. They had my license plate. They ran it. It was still registered at my parents' house. They go to my parents' house and they come and try and arrest me. The best part of the entire story was my mom looks at the detective and says, "Look, if my son, I know my son, if he'd have robbed the store, he wouldn't go back to work."
Moms always get you out of some serious stuff. They always got that one-liner. Makes the cop go.
But yeah, it was a
Okay, ma'am.
They used my car, smash and grab, dumped it in the neighborhood, took another car and ran off. And like 3 weeks later, I'd already bought a truck. They find my car, and they're like, "Oh, you want it back?" I get it back, and it's covered in that fingerprint dust. They dusted everything. I was like, "Yeah, I'll take it back." And luckily, they didn't do anything except mess up the ignition.
You can actually start a fucking car with a flathead screwdriver.
An old car like that,
An
all you have
80s
to do is break over
jam
the
shit and just
the
fucking
yeah.
go. I always thought that
As long
was
as the
bullshit. I'm like,
ignition turns over,
Yeah.
All right.
the old car doesn't care.
It was. I got lucky because that's all they did. They jammed it in, started it, and then the guy took the fucking screwdriver and just jabbed it into the upholstery, and it was standing. It was still sitting in the seat when I got the car back.
Of
took
course.
your cassette deck too, didn't he? Son of a bitch.
They didn't take anything.
AC/DC tapes were still
Well,
there?
They were just looking for a getaway car, and they just thought 86 Monte
Monte
Carlo.
Carlo, absolutely.
mean,
That's the one.
I had my 8-track adapter, so it was good to go.
Black on black. They'll never see us coming or going. Brilliant.
Bet you've
But-
never been accused of murder.
Ooh,
Actually,
go for
I
it.
know you have.
Oh man!
I'm
it
assuming
is
you
a-
didn't do that because you just brought that up awfully cavalier. So I've always wondered. So,
I think it's a statute
No,
of
it's just-
limitations at this point.
It's just another opportunity for him to let everyone know it wasn't him.
yeah.
That's
Like,
right.
Do you got a way I could tell 1,000 people that I didn't do it? Yeah, come on the podcast. That'd be perfect.
Let's go.
Years ago, it's well behind me at this point. I guess let's get into it. kind of a long, drawn-out story.
Is he wearing orange?
We'll make it.
We got 5 minutes till the deli.
We'll make it a quick one. Used to work for a food distribution company.
Okay.
And one of our largest customers at the time was running his store into the ground.
Is this here?
So
Is
yes,
this
it's actually Chesterfield Town Center. So talking to my boss, and we said, look, this is our largest account. We have to do what we can to keep this thing afloat because it was huge to our success and our business. So as being the distributor. So anyway, we ended up talking to the mall, and they were like, look, this guy's running to the ground. They realized it. They wanted him out. We did nothing to coerce to get him kicked out. They just, at any point, they could take on a new lease. And me and my boss at the time, we decided to go ahead and partner up and sign the lease. So anyway, he got out, tried to sue us. He tried to sue us for like $1.5 million, by the way, which is fucking absurd. Absolutely absurd.
Sir, I have $7.
Yeah, based on, first of all,
it's better to go from 200 to $700. From 200 to $700.
And this fucking business was not worth that much money near it.
See,
Anyway,
you needed to partner up with the guy who owned the Subway that Chris was in, because that dude knew how to make money out of nothing.
exactly.
No shit.
And get sandwiches. So, anyway, long story short, this guy took us to court. He's trying to sue us, and he ended up literally. This went on for several years. This whole court process. Man, we're being, damn it, what's the word I'm looking for? Not debrief. What's the court word? The D. We're gonna leave it at that. We're gonna.
You were the defendant.
Deliberated.
Deposed.
No, deposed. Like
Deposed.
a number of times. It was fucking insane. It's costing us. Luckily, my company backed us. They get us a lawyer. Our company pays for a lawyer. We didn't really like it, so we hire our own lawyer as well. Anyway, this went on for several years. 6 days before we were supposed to go to court, a jury trial, this guy ends up dead.
What?
Yeah, that seems suspicious.
Dead.
I understand.
Shot and left in a parking lot.
Oh, God. What else was this dude into?
Well, they later found out, and this is after the oddest part, I was never even questioned about it. Obviously, we're going to be...
You're still my first suspect.
Obviously, we're going to be the number one suspects. To this day, I'm not sure it's solved, but this guy also owned a lot of convenience stores and was into, what we found out later, illegal like cigarette smuggling and all kinds of other stuff.
All right, so he was definitely involved in some black market shadiness.
No doubt. So, but yeah, I mean, so I found out because on the news, they have a reporter at my front door at my house in Brandonville knocking on the door saying, they're not answering the door. We'd love to talk to them about this, and the news is trying to question us. The police aren't even trying to question us. Again, long story short.
You're like watching TV and you see a reporter outside of your house kind of thing?
At our front door, bud. At our front door. And my boss sees this. And he's like, hey, have you seen the news? And I'm like, no. It's like, yeah, you got reporters at your front door right now, trying to knock on your door, trying to talk to you, ask you questions. Wow.
Yeah, that's definitely going to slow your roll.
So they came back a couple more
Baby,
times.
don't worry. Stay over there. I'll take care of this.
We averted any kind of news coverage other than that, but yeah, never was questioned by the police, never anything after that. Just kind of all fizzled away, and the case got dropped.
Crazy.
Case got completely dropped, which it should have. It was fucking absurd regardless. This guy was suing us for coercion. Like we worked with them all to get him kicked out and blah, 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 blah.
So we're talking grand theft, murder, robbery.
All kinds of lovely shit.
And
you don't
getting
understand.
killed.
Dude, think about it. The fucking strain that puts on a family. I mean, this went on for several years, dude.
No, I can
and
imagine.
it cost us a shit ton of money.
I got a noise violation.
And attorney fees. It was insane.
Oh.
Absolutely insane. For nothing.
Damn.
That is not good. But you did get us to the deli, and for that, we thank you.
Welcome.
So if you look at, Chris, if you look in the kegerator, the back right, there's a box with 4 beers in it sitting on top of another box. That's how I remember it.
Got it.
Oh, yes. The Mas Agave from Founders.
Oh, Founders.
I am very interested to see what in the world this monstrosity tastes like. Now, if you recall, earlier in the day, I said you don't want to do a fantasy draft drunk. So I bought a 10% beer. And the reason I went with this particular beer is what a lot of people don't know is here in the Pallet House during football season, I know that we're known for taking shots of Malort on the air. That's kind of our go-to. But we like to take, during football season, we take a lot of shots of Humidor tequila. That is our go-to.
Dude, I've already
Who's in
started
charge of
thinking
that?
about
I was going to
recipes.
say.
Good.
Please, tell me.
So originally this started years ago where I would take jalapenos and I would dice them and I would soak them in a bottle of Humidor for 3 days. And then I would strain it back out. I would strain the jalapenos back out and put the liquor back in the bottle.
Right.
And it creates a really, really spicy tequila that I find phenomenal.
Amazing.
And Humidor, what people don't know is when it comes to like low cost tequilas, it is 100% agave, which is critical when getting a tequila, but it's like doesn't cost a lot. So it's the best of the cheap that you can get your hands on. And so if you use the silver one, it's already so smooth that you can doctor it with all kinds of stuff. And Chris, I know you've done a lot with like pineapple and pineapple pepper and different
last year
combinations.
I did pineapple jalapeno, which was money, just because the jalapeno, if you leave it in too long, it gets hot. And then I
Like a
did
little spice though.
the pineapple definitely cut it. And then after that, I did mango coconut, which was money too.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
So Humidor is the perfect foundation for mixed or doctored, adulterated tequilas.
Right.
So I got this because this beer has been soaked in the barrels that they use to make reposado tequilas, like the darker tequila. So this is actually aged in tequila barrels, but it's a sour beer.
Yeah,
And-
so it says Founders Mas Agave, Imperial Lime Gose Style Ale, brewed with agave, aged in tequila barrels.
I mean, it smells like a Bud Light lime.
I figured this would be a good beer to try, considering we're entering into tequila country. It's that
Yeah.
time of year again. Things get cold. I want some hot tequila. But what I found intriguing about this is they said that by using the goza and then soaking it in the tequila barrels, that they were able to recreate a kind of margarita type flavor.
Yeah, I go with that.
And now that I've
Get that.
tried it,
Yeah,
I'm kind of shocked
it's
at
good.
how margarita-y
Very.
it really is. I'm also shocked that it's 10% alcohol because it's
No
not.
shit.
It's not striking me as a 10%
That's a very
beer. This is very Founders Mas Agave.
Yeah, and I'm a fan of everything Founders does.
This is pretty good.
Most everything I've had from Founders is usually pretty solid. Aren't they the ones who make the all day IPA too?
Yeah,
Which I think is
think
like
so.
one of the best sessionable IPAs you can
Right.
get your hands on. Well, this is a weird beer, man. I'm torn here.
Nitro Draft.
I got a handful of different
I
opinions
got some
here.
mixed feelings.
There's part
as
of me
well.
that hates it. There's part of me that loves it.
Founders is Michigan, right?
Sure.
Yeah, I'll go with that. I'll go with that.
Grand
Sounds
Rapids,
right.
Michigan.
Boom.
Yeah, that's the one. See,
Look at
nailed
you.
it. Yeah, that is an interesting ass beer. Does anybody want to take
Grand Rapids and Detroit.
anybody want to take a stab at that for to give it the old deli? The does everybody like it? Because
Does everybody
Ely's not
like
here.
Yeah,
I
fuck
mean,
you,
I
Luke.
can drink it. It's not something I'm going to drink a bunch of because
Well, because you'll go in a coma.
well, not because I'll go in a coma, just because it's not a taste that it's got some sweetness to it.
Yeah, it's definitely heavy on the tequila margarita side and not a whole lot of beer flavor to it.
It's very confusing. Very confusing.
Like it should be slushed in a. Like that's
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Fucking stew.
Yeah.
that's what it tastes like, man.
Is that, I like the marketing.
I'm getting there. Just give me a
All
second.
right, Stu, why don't you go first?
Well, no, if you can see this, I mean, I like the image of
It's
the
a
skeleton.
audio forum.
I know. I'm just saying there. I like the cover. I'm actually going to give it a 3.5.
Oh, you went right to it. Boy, that was quick. Okay. Jeez.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 3.5 because I actually like it.
After seeing your Tinder profile of you laying on the Fiata, I would have expected you to be quick. That adds
It's
up.
over and done with.
Yeah. Did he have a mass agave in his hand when he was wearing his dong sarong on the hood?
Dude, he absolutely should have.
This would be great.
No, I like to do drink and drive little Fiatas.
I don't know. I would go with Zima.
All right, so you
Picture.
gave it a 3.5. You actually gave it a pretty high score there.
Yeah, because I actually like it. I do like it. It doesn't. It's different. I mean, it's definitely. God, it's hard to explain because it's a beer, but I feel like I want to have I want to put it in a glass, put salt on the rim, and drink it like a margarita for real.
Yeah, it's
That's what
very interesting.
It's,
Celie, what are you thinking over there? What do you?
I don't know, man. I'm going to go by whether or not I would buy it. And I wouldn't.
that's good.
Will I drink it? Of course, especially since it's got 10%. But I'm going to go with a 2.5.
2.5 from the murder rap.
That's what I got.
That's good.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, so there's very few beers that I won't drink or that I don't
I'm with
like.
you.
Yeah, that's
on
usually
that.
my problem. I'm
Yeah.
No, I've actually uncovered a handful of them on this show where I've been like, "Yep, I'm not finishing that."
No, my great grandfather would always say, "I'll drink any beer with 2 E's in it."
With 2 E's in it. There you go. I think this is a. What would you say? I definitely couldn't drink more than one.
Well,
But you gave it a 3.5. I feel like
That's a flavor.
that
That's
doesn't
a
add up.
but that's
Just a flavor?
that's the taste, and I wouldn't. It's one of those beers that you drink the full thing. Yeah, 10%, you're good to go. But it's got that flavor where I don't think I could. Gets heavy.
Yeah, so we
Second
got
one.
3.5.
you gave it a 3.5. Do you
I
want to
understand
retract your
that.
statement?
No, that's
Okay.
I'm talking.
I hear you.
We got 3.5 Fiata,
Yep.
2.5 murder rap.
I'll drink it, but I won't buy it again. 2.5.
Yeah, I would definitely would not buy it again. If somebody handed me one, I would say,
Don't
"Do
drink
you
one.
have anything else?"
Check, please.
Sure.
But it's not bad. It's definitely heavier on the margarita side.
For
Don't
sure.
taste a lot of beer, which I don't love. So I'll go 2.5, which is the lowest beer score I've ever given.
So,
Yeah, I tend to. I think I'm falling in line with you. It's definitely a Goza. There's no doubt about that. And Gozas have a tendency to lose a lot of the beer flavor. You never get malt. You never get hop because it's all sour. I mean, it overtakes your mouth.
It's
like
strong as shit.
Oh, I'm starting to
that's a
already
plus
pick
in
up.
my book. That's where I got the 0.5 from here. I give that extra 0.5 for the 10.
I mean, why can't I can like it. Just don't have to drink more than one.
There's something in it though that I don't like, and I don't know what it is. When I drink it,
It's like the
too
drinkability
sour.
factor.
It's almost like, have you ever gone and gotten a margarita and there's too much sour mix in it?
Yes.
That's exactly what I'm tasting
Yes.
here. Like, yes, it's a margarita. It's just one from like a low rent Mexican place, not like a good margarita.
Bottom shelf.
Yeah, it's a Chewy's margarita.
Yeah, there's too much sour mix in here, and that's
Right.
the Goza. So I never thought I would say this, but if they had scaled back on the Goza and actually amped up the tequila, I would like it more. But it's too sour, not enough of that bite from the tequila. I taste the tequila. It's certainly there.
He wants this beer to be bought
Listen
at
up.
the ABC store.
Have you ever had a tequiza?
Oh.
Nope.
You haven't.
No, what is a tequiza?
So tequiza is very similar to what we're tasting here.
Now that I'm seeing
You
a
have,
picture
haven't
of
you?
it, I have had a
You
tequiza.
have had a tequiza, right? It was, I forget who brought it out.
You know what? I think I like tequiza better.
Do you?
Well, especially
Less
because this cost me.
alcohol.
Oh, yeah.
This cost me $15
Yeah.
for a 4-pack. It's like
All right.
pretty ridiculous.
that's-
You know, like
Absolutely.
rather pull out my own
Now I hate it.
fingernails.
Now I hate it.
But
Yeah.
I think,
Penny Pitcher over here was like, "What the fuck?"
yeah, exactly.
I'm not a fucking IPA guy. Give me some Coors Lights. I'll drink 10 of them to your one
But I do think that it does.
Moss.
It's a
Actually, now that we're talking about it, I'm going to a 2.
I hate it more.
So
So
the
you didn't like paying $15 either, you fucking cheap son of a bitch.
so the sandwich artist drops it to a 2. If you like a sugary sweet, and it's not even sugary sweet, it's just
No.
it's got all that, it's got something in it. But if you like
That's a strong sweet.
overly sour mixed margaritas, you're gonna love this because this thing has sour in spades.
See, that's
I'll
why
give it that.
I drink a lot of ciders. That's why
Good.
I like this.
Thanks, Stu.
Man,
Just FYI.
I mean, I pass on the margaritas because too many of those heartburn city.
So I would have to go. I'm right in between a 2 and a 2.5. So I'm actually going to give the worst score ever, 2.25, which you should never do. Because now you're completely nickel and diming it. But I don't want to say it's middle of the road. It's funny though because part of me really likes it, and part of me
That's
really
just
hates
because
it.
you spent $15 on it.
Yeah, it's not great.
No,
We'll
it
go
sucks.
2.25 over here. So the Monopoly guy gives it 2.25. The Sandwich Artist at 2. The Murder Rap at 2.5.
The Fiata guy
and the
likes it at
Fiata
3.5.
at 3.5. It adds up.
So go get yourself a 4-pack.
Yeah, if you got all that Fiata money.
Yeah, I found one that founders fucked up.
Yeah, but it's interesting. I will give
It's
it that.
interesting,
I think
but-
everyone should have one.
Works for somebody.
It's
Stu.
probably a really good beer. Like if you want to forget your life.
Yeah, like if you are like 8 Coronas deep, and then somebody hands you one of these, and
You're
you're,
gonna be like,
oh
"Ooh."
shit.
Yeah. Now this is good if you don't need your dick to get hard because it's 10% alcohol.
See, I think I would go the other way around. I'd have this.
Oh, you'd
first.
have a hard dick?
I'd have this first, and then that's it. Have this one and go to a Miller Lite after that.
Well, the
And
good
for the
news
rest-
is we're having this before a fantasy draft, so I think we're all going to draft exceptionally well this evening.
Look, I'll be honest with you. You guys keep talking about 10% putting you down. The fuck you been doing? 10 fucking percent beer?
It's very aggressive.
Give me 12 of them. Give me 12 of them and start the night off.
We
I
might,
will.
We
I
might
will-
have a new murder rap before the end of the night.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah. What killed him? Masagave.
Blame it on the Masagave.
It was a little much. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
It was rough, but it's not as bad. I had a listener send in something this week talking about the new Four Loko seltzer.
Dude, I'm all about some Four Locos.
You used to love a Four Loko.
Well, we used to hit camping trip, and the way we would roll in,
I'm aware.
we busted out the weed whackers. We would clear the lot and drink Four Locos the entire time we were mowing down weeds.
I miss camping trip.
I think that is the best time for a Four Loko.
Oh, hell
You get
yeah.
some power tools that can hurt you,
Yep.
but will also be destructive, and you decide to do some uppers and downers. It's the best. A Four Loko was absolutely perfect for that. I will give you that. I can say that yard work in Four Lokos, dude,
Yes.
beautiful.
Isn't there an
Beautiful.
active lawsuit against Four Loko? If you ever
Uh,
drank it at some point or another?
And
I feel like I saw
killed
that.
somebody.
I feel like I saw it and did something insane.
And what's your defense?
ridiculous.
Four Loko?
Four Locos.
I'm pretty
Blame it
sure
on
the
that.
flavor was jungle juice.
Dude, they were amazing. But Four Loko has a seltzer now, and it's like 14% or something ridiculous.
Of course it is.
Like they're stepping into this hard seltzer world, and so this listener sends it in. It's our buddy the Abacus sends it in to me, and he's like, which one of you's man enough to drink a Four Loko? I'm thinking to myself, well, I can clearly drink a Four Loko, but I don't know that I want to.
Right.
But I do think that the way the seltzer craze is going, we need to do a seltzer tasting and like really get after it.
Yeah, for sure.
Try all the different seltzers that are out there. And Four Loko has to make the mix.
The Fiata guys.
Yeah,
all
just
in.
because they're going at the angle that we have to have a super high alcohol seltzer, and all
Yeah.
the others are the opposite.
Like it is, yeah, everyone else is trying to dumb it down. But then Natty Light just came out with theirs. You got the Aloha Beaches and the Catalina Lime Mixer. They just came out with those, which
I haven't had either one.
I have not tried them either, but they're going after low cost, but they make no mention of calories or carbs, which everyone else is like, low calorie, low
Yeah.
carb.
Right.
They're like, funny name,
Yeah.
cheap
Have
price.
a good time.
Yeah. So I assume those taste like dog piss. And Four Locos, like, we're just going to get you drunk,
Right.
which
Go
I
for
can
it.
respect
Look,
because Four
push-
Locos got a name.
Look, you got to find your niche. You know what I mean? There are those people out there that's what they want. That's
Yo.
what they're looking for.
Oh, I believe that it'll be a trend by the end of summer to get a Four Loko, put a little meth in it, and you're off to
Anybody
the
who
races.
drank Four Locos to start was just looking for that. That was it. With a little energy behind it.
Yeah, it was all about doing stupid
Get
things
fucked
faster.
Up, get fucked up with a little energy. Absolutely.
Yeah.
When you drink Red Bull and vodka.
It's the old Red Bull vodka equation. Exactly right. You know,
Favorite mix. My favorite
You know?
mix.
I like my bad ideas to come quick. Get after
Still my regular go-to. Murder rap.
it.
Murder rap.
That is the
Done.
greatest nickname for you ever. I'm pretty excited that came up.
Murder rap.
Murder rap. That's a
We
great
can all laugh about it now. It's well behind me.
yeah, statute of limitations, right?
But if you
That's
walk into
right.
Chesterfield Town Center, there's a mug picture
he
of
couldn't.
Seeley on the wall.
He couldn't remember deposition.
Funniest, you know what the funniest part about that is? Oh man, and I hate to bring back old shit. back in the teenage years, I was fucking banned from the Chesterfield Town Center for life for shoplifting.
Well, then that's not just in the teenage years. That's
And then I
life.
fucking owned a business there. Fucking, who's running security around this motherfucker?
That's the same business you were accused of murdering somebody? Yeah, they should have kept you banned.
Oh man.
Dude, that's
What's wrong with these people?
hilarious. No, you're not allowed back in. Unless, of course, you own a business.
Unless you want to pay us money for the rent, then
Proprietorship?
we'll
Of
talk
course.
about it.
You were probably there at the same time because my dad dropped me off at the DMV to get my driver's license, and he said, "Don't come home without a job." So I drove from the DMV to Chesterfield Town Center.
This was
And got a-
1942, right?
Got a job at the.
That's
I
right.
can't believe it's not yogurt, and pumped yogurt for a year.
Hold
and a
on.
half.
I can't believe it's not
Not
yogurt.
TCBY?
So is that an ice cream place? What are
Not
they?
TCBY?
No, it's a yogurt shop.
Then why'd they call it I can't believe it's not yogurt? I'm very confused by this marketing scheme. It's like, I can't believe it's not dairy and it's milk.
It only
Like,
lasts.
people are
like-
going to get sick.
It's not around anymore, so it wasn't a great idea.
Yeah. I could have told them that the day they decided we're going to call it, we can't believe it's not yogurt. What do you sell? Yogurt. I mean, it's like putting butter in and I can't believe it's not butter, Tim. That's the dumbest shit I ever heard, Stu. Sorry, I'm furious right now.
Go for it.
So it didn't work.
Stu just left.
It didn't work.
Nope, didn't work.
Didn't work.
They were doomed when they were like, you know who we should hire? Stu.
It was the best thing ever, though. You make a waffle cone, roll one. Oh, I messed that one up. Let me eat it.
Is that the old I can't believe it's not a waffle cone?
Yeah, it's not a waffle cone, but used to just
See, that was the fucking problem with owning that business. You got high school kids that weren't bought into the business. They're giving all their fucking friends free shit.
Yep.
Every weekend I was fucking hiring and firing, so that's why we had to let it go. What? Had nothing to do with the murder rap. Had to do with fucking high school kids.
Dude, there was another night when I was working at the Subway.
Yes, please tell me more, artist.
And
The artist.
Nothing better than an old
so we
job
would close up
stories.
shop, and we would make ourselves subs, a fucking giant cookie, like a big cookie cake. And then this was back in the day of the Subway party room when people had birthdays at Subway.
Nice. Okay.
Oh,
That
jeez.
predates me. Like, I don't remember a party room,
A fucking
like-
party room in Subway.
but I'm already psyched. Yep. And they sell not yogurt, right?
Yeah. No, so we finished up our shift, and then we would make subs, cookies, and then we would hang out in the party room and have a poker game in the back room.
Yes, sir.
And we were all sitting back there one night, and Don comes in, same Don who says, tell him it was
Make it
$700.
I can't believe you used his God-given name.
And his name was Don. That just makes the whole story better.
Yeah, no doubt. Last name King.
He rolls in with his buddy
Whoa, Juan.
shit faced after they hit the bars all night. Comes in and realizes there's still lights on in the back.
We were going to come play poker, you sons of bitches.
He comes in the back and knows that we're back there fucking around doing something and scares the shit out of us. Kicks the door in. It's like, what are you motherfuckers doing?
That's great.
This is after the you've been held up.
Yes. It
Like,
was
so
after.
PTSD to this guy is like something you need to stick in and then twist.
Yeah. And we're all sitting back there and we have chips and cookies and subs and we're all playing poker. We're like, it's okay. We rung it up. We swear.
Yeah, we paid for it.
We rung it up. Don, you know the drill. We'll call the cops later. You say it was 10 subs
Yeah, this is
and 12 cookies.
Don owns the Subway. This is the only Subway that I can picture with like the round leather chairs and the cigars and they're smoking in the
Poker
back
table
room.
in the
I
back,
just love
apparently.
that they had kids parties at a place that was a back alley poker room that got held up all the time. And they're like, you should have a kids party here. It's great. We'll clean up the needles. What the fuck, man?
Yeah. No, but he was cool. Like he
sounds great.
What's the password to get in?
he was like, yeah, I'm just trying to get some
69,
food.
bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was a bro shop if I ever saw
Oh,
one.
Jesus.
Holy
too funny.
crap.
Dude,
Could go for a
How long did you
sandwich,
work there, Chris?
for
some
3
ice
years,
cream.
all of high school.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was a blast just because he was cool as shit. Let us do whatever we want for the most part, as long as the money worked out okay.
Yeah.
though. By whatever means necessary.
Being,
Right.
Look, being a business owner with high school kids, that's exactly how you have to fucking do it. Just be cool with them. Make sure they don't rob you blind. The money works out. Then you hope for the best.
Budget
You know they're
for-
giving shit free.
Budget
all
for
the
the
time.
budget for
All
the skimming off
time.
the top.
Yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
there's that, the 10% you know is gone.
It's gone.
It's fair.
It's gone.
Yeah, there was a floor safe. We didn't have the combination to, so every hour we drop money down in this floor safe. Which
That's
was
actually
Way
pretty
more
smart.
high tech than we were. Way more high tech.
But that's good. You got to keep the high school kids' grubby hands off of the cash.
right, right.
Because you're only one bad poker beat away from
Just fucking gambling
changing
addicts back
500.
there.
It was funny though.
Again.
He went to sell this place, and I don't know if you remember like the old wallpaper and the design of the subways.
The yellow
but it was
and green.
Yeah, it was yellow and green. But then also they had like old newspaper clippings.
Yeah.
Of like Chicago in the 1950s. Yeah, I just
Yep.
said Chicago.
I got excited.
Perked his interest.
And it was all these newspaper clippings of when they, opened up the first subways
Yeah.
in the city. And we would fucking be in there on a Sunday bored as shit because we would sell like 5 subs an hour back before the Jared and
Killing
$5 footlong really hit hard.
And he's back in the kids' room.
Yeah, that's when they got rid of the playroom.
He
Right.
went there.
But we would open up the Sunday paper and we would cut out politicians' heads and glue them on top of the wallpaper. So he went
Oh.
to sell this place and finally realized, he looked up and he was like, what the fuck is that? Is that Bill Clinton?
He just never noticed.
Never noticed. And then he
Absentee
realized
owner.
for 3 years we had been gluing people's heads on top of the wallpaper all over the store.
Let me
And that's back when
reiterate:
Subway-
high school kids, fucking high
Oh.
school kids.
I'm aware of the problem, but it's also the backbone that keeps those places afloat. So you got to have them.
Afloat.
What are you going to pay some dude with an MBA?
Dude,
No,
high school
no.
job was the shit. We would call Domino's and work out food trades. They'd bring us pizzas. We'd give them subs.
Dude, I had the greatest
Oh, yeah,
job
that-
ever. I
Oh,
used
everybody worked together. It was a fucking network.
Yeah.
Especially if you worked in a mall.
The food
I
court.
give you this, you give me that. Everybody rubbed everybody's shoulders. It was a massage session.
Oh, yeah.
Wait,
Believe
what?
me, my first job was in a mall, so
Yeah, me too, at the food court.
everybody fucking worked together. It was this odd fucking network, but I guess when you work there, it all worked out for you. I'm not quite so sure for the owners.
Yeah, my high school job was at a place called Timberlake. It was the most amazing place in the world. It was 100 acres and had 2 7-acre lakes with sand beaches.
Right.
And they charged admission to come in. And then people would just
That's
come
pretty
out
fucking
there
awesome.
and like party it up all day because it was in Northern Virginia. You could easily drive over, spend a whole day partying, grilling out, doing whatever. We had grills and all the different picnic areas. And it would just fill up with people every weekend. Just girls in bikinis and like people partying, and it was
Speaking
just
their language.
that was life, man. It was
Absolutely.
the greatest. And I would work the snack bar. Oh man, snack bar. Was,
Snack bar guy was like the fucking king.
but it was like at the end of the day, you'd be like, I could use a dozen Snickers ice cream bars. You know? I would probably eat these right here. That sounds pretty good to me.
Those are your negotiation tools
Dude,
for anything else you needed out there.
that was it, man. Everyone would come through there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it was pretty amazing. Like it was
touching
the-
all departments.
It was the greatest place to work. And then I had to work the front gate for a while, which like parking cars and stuff and like telling people where to go, collecting all the money.
That was my second high school job. Senior year was a valet at the Country Club of Virginia, and oh my goodness gracious, getting a chance to drive all those cars. But the funny thing was we had the valet manager, guy was maybe 5'4", 500 pounds. And
I love this guy.
the first like that first generation of two-door sports Lexus, the LS4 or what, I can't remember the name.
That's
of it.
right. You got it. LS 400.
Yeah, it's a two-door Lexus. So at that time, this is 1990, and the car 91. The car
I'd still
is that one.
actually love to have that car.
Yeah, it's a great looking car.
Yeah.
We were so busy for a wedding, he had to help us. This guy is literally 500 pounds, 5'4", and he's a roly-poly. This car pulls up, the Lexus pulls up, and it's that car when you turn it off, the seat goes back, the steering wheel goes in, and gives you maximum room to get out.
Yeah, he's still stuck.
He's like,
Well,
how
no,
do you keep it there?
He had to go park the car, and it was this little lady that got out of it. He got in the car, started it,
Oh, it
The
crushed
and
it.
it
memory
started
shit?
going to
It's
the
like,
whole to the whole trash compactor, and he literally had to fall out of the car, roll across the floor.
R2, you gotta turn it off.
It was hilarious. Never forget that. It was a great
That
valet
driver
job.
memory
Yeah.
situation. Yeah,
Dude, that's fantastic.
Hey, can we pour one out for Colby?
Dude.
Oh, good idea.
Oh, you fucking
Please.
jerk had to bring it up. I got to leave now because I'm going to cry.
I know you two are all emotional about it, but fucking coolest ass dog. Everybody knows Brendan had this dog, Colby.
Oh,
would
yeah.
Greet us at the driveway every time we walked up. Coolest dog I've ever known. And he's done.
That's a nice way to put it.
Yeah,
He's not
that's-
done.
that's-
He's not
oh
done.
my
Come on.
Yeah,
He's-
he'll live with us forever.
No,
he's good to
Unfortunately,
go.
You're right.
Next week we'll be greeted by a doodle who jumps up on us and licks our faces.
Fuck
and-
that shit.
I'm not getting. My wife's already looking at other dogs, and she's like, "Ooh, this doodle's adorable." I'm like,
What?
We're not getting a fucking dog. Like, I'd rather get like a harem of gerbils before
Look,
I
I'll-
get a doodle.
I'll bring Gus and Callie over.
Dude, I did not
Some good
tell you guys what the fuck happened with my cat and
Oh.
Ely. And
Yes. Yes.
Ely didn't bring it
Please
up
do.
either. I was surprised he didn't.
That's hilarious.
So we were down on vacation in Orlando, going to all the Disney parks and all that kind of shit. Ely's son Peyton was watching my dog, and my dad's dog, and my cat. And I told him, make sure the dogs are cool. You don't have to worry about the cat at all. She's got a litter box up in my room. She's got water. She's got food. You don't even have to go in there.
Sounds self-sufficient. What
Yeah.
could go wrong?
I told him, I was like, you don't even have to go in there.
That's why I don't like Gus as much. I'm sorry.
This is
But he's an emotional kid and loves pets. So of course he goes up to check on the cat. And he went up the first day and the cat was laying up on the bed, totally fine. Goes up the next day and the cat goes under the bed and is laying on this old suitcase that's sitting under our bed.
Yeah, that
And-
sounds right. Cats love suitcases.
yeah, just laying on top of it. And he goes over and pokes the cat a little bit, and the cat doesn't move.
yeah.
So
Oh,
I'm,
no.
fuck out.
So I'm in Orlando, sitting by the pool, drinking a margarita,
Hey, Chris.
and I get a phone call from Ely's wife, and I was like, I have my phone in my hand. I was like, why is Angela calling me? And I pick up
Oh,
the phone,
no.
and I'm like, please tell me that there's fucking nothing wrong with the dogs, because if something's wrong with
Yeah,
my dog
that's
or my
heartbreaking.
dad's dog,
Oh,
bro.
one of us is
Bro.
leaving.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
No.
And she says, Chris, I got some bad news. Booger died.
Booger. Shut up.
And I
Yes.
immediately go,
The day
You're
you
like,
named
why
the cat,
I wasn't there? Like, couldn't get any better.
the day you look at a cat and go, "We're gonna name it Booger," means that you're just waiting for it to die. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
yes.
You weren't like, "I want this cat." You're like,
Oh, yeah.
fuck, call it Booger. I don't give a shit."
no, the cat got the name over margaritas at El Paso.
So that makes sense.
The funny thing is Chris is telling me this story the other week, right before I'm having Peyton come house sit my dogs and cat.
Solid. You're like, oh,
While
so
I
he's
go out to Anaheim, and he's
great, perfect reference.
like, "Your dogs and cats."
Do you have
are
any
gonna die."
references? None that you can call.
So I crack up and I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, I'm happy because I'm allergic to this fucking cat. And since I got a dog, this cat lives on my bed. So I'm done with this bitch. And I'm really
Yep.
glad. But then I'm like, I'm in Orlando. What the fuck do I do with a dead cat
Hey, you're like,
hundreds
hey.
of miles away?
The same thing you do with a cat that's dead in the next room. Nothing. Who cares?
It's
over.
Take it out back and bury
No,
it.
so I get off the phone with
Tell him
Angela.
to throw it out back.
And I'm cracking up, and then she tells me, she's like, Peyton's really upset. was like, oh,
Yeah.
well, make sure he's okay. And let him know that I'm laughing because I hated this guy. And him and I, we're cool.
Yeah.
And then I hung up the phone. I picked
Actually,
up the phone.
thank you. I'm gonna send him a thank you card.
Well, look
Yes.
whose rate just went up.
Yeah, he got a good tip.
He's a good kid. He's really a good kid too.
So I
though.
called
yeah.
Ely and I was like, Ely, can you do me a solid?
He's like, thing I'm back to $1 million.
He's like, just name it. So I was like, all right, can you go to my house and get my dead cat and wrap her up in whatever you can find and take her to your house and bury her in your backyard? And Ely said, consider it done. And hung up the phone.
That's got to be the strangest
You know,
request I've ever. Hey, can you go to my house, get my dead animal, and bury it in your yard? Because I don't even want it in my yard.
Or burn it. Whatever,
Can you make
whatever's more convenient for you.
Can you make a headstone for it and put it back in there on your back 40?
Oh shit!
Yeah, so like half an hour later, I get a text from Ely. And it's one of those memes of Robert De Niro from Goodfellas. And it just says,
Jinxie.
hey, that thing you asked me to do is done.
That's great.
That's fucking hilarious. That is hilarious. Look, for
On
any of
that
you
note-
cat lovers out there, no, I'm not trying to be insensitive, but
Yeah.
dogs are cooler. I'm just sorry.
Dude, when murder rap is your moral compass on
Look,
the air,
I
jeez.
fucking love animals way more than I love people.
Dude, no,
Sorry.
you're right though. Dogs are
For sure.
because if you die, the cat's going to eat you. If you die with a dog, the dog's going to die with you.
You never get a better greeting than when you come
No,
home
a dog
from being
will eat
gone.
you.
No, it won't.
If the motherfucker better,
He
I'm
won't.
dead and he's hungry.
You get fed.
I'm not
Colby's
even mad.
survive.
If you're dead on the floor, Colby's going to lay right beside you until he passes away.
Well, unfortunately, Colby is no longer here, so this room would just smell like shit.
All right, I'm out of here.
Yeah, no, but Chris, I do appreciate you bringing it up. It was a shitty weekend, to
Yeah,
say
for
the
sure,
least.
man.
I guess I knew. If you listen to the last episode, I knew it was coming. I
Right.
just didn't know it was going to be coming as quickly as it was. And unfortunately, yeah, he had to go down. I've never put a dog down. That was
It's tough.
a lot harder than I expected it to be.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think the part that has absolutely ruined me about it, it's not that we did it. It's that I felt like I betrayed him when I did it. It's a really weird feeling. You
Didn't
know
know.
what I mean?
We talked
Like-
about this last night a little bit.
Yeah, like
Didn't know.
I'm talking. I understand that. Like I understand why it happened. I understand the logic behind it. I understand the pain he was in. I get all those things. But in that moment, when I'm holding him and I'm saying it'll be okay,
Right.
but it's not. It's not going to be okay.
Yeah.
And the betrayal of it, that absolutely tore the ass out of me. And I didn't know this, but he was looking at my wife. My wife was looking at him.
Yeah.
And so like she saw it, and I feel horrible that she has that on her soul. Like that's a miserable.
Yeah, well, you did the right
vacation.
thing though, because
I get it.
no,
Everyone
I'm
can
saying
say it
in the
but
way in the way, because when we did it with Dixie, we had the vet come. Like we didn't go
Yeah.
there. Vet comes here.
I
You take
I
care
can
of
tell you,
Yeah,
it
that's
doesn't
awesome.
feel any better. I get it.
No.
I get a million reasons why it was the right thing to do, but in my heart of hearts, it tore me up. It ruined me, and I spent the entire Sunday. Typically, when I deal with loss, I tend to like work out or do something to like get my endorphins up naturally. I literally turned to the bottle. I drank half a bottle of scotch and just got after it all day long.
Nice.
And I cried like a bitch a lot. I won't lie. It sucked. So I appreciate you bringing it up because I'm gonna miss him, but I'm not getting a fucking doodle.
You
It's-
fucking better not.
I was going to tell you on a side note.
He'll
the-
be missed. I will pour one out.
Yeah,
for him. I
Colby's
literally
a great dog, but
floor.
you
I just poured that beer on the floor. I don't care.
Yeah. Shithole anyway.
give yourself a
Whoa!
yeah. I mean, give yourself a little bit of break before you get another dog. Enjoy not having to, 24/7.
Tread lightly, Stu.
I know. I'm just saying. Dixie was my first kid. I mean, I had her before I met my wife. And
I get it. I get it.
it's-
I loved the dog. It was, but not to end everything on an absolute low note. We do have a fantasy draft ahead of us.
Jesus.
I've had a 10% murder rap. You would think you'd be used to death.
Yeah, fuck. Yeah, people. Fuck people.
Fuck people. Not the four-legged kind.
Dude was an asshole anyway.
Yeah, he'd turn himself in if he hit a dog, but that motherfucker. Nah, I'm looking forward to a good fantasy draft. This, like I said, this is the best day of fantasy.
Hey, I'm
football
ready for
season.
fall. I'm ready for football season.
I'm ready to.
Sir.
I'm ready,
Ready
to
to
get
get
this
this
shit
shit
on.
on.
My wife hates it. I love it. Sorry.
So thank you guys so much for coming out, and thank you all you listeners for coming in, tuning in every week. We certainly appreciate having you come in. If you haven't had a chance to review us on iTunes or wherever it is you get podcasts, do it. What the hell are you waiting for?
Maybe not this one. I don't know.
Actually, I thought this one was pretty funny outside of the last
too.
5 minutes. And if you haven't had a chance to head over to the Facebook page and give us a like or interact with us, please do so. We'd love to hear from you. Or you can always reach out to us on Instagram or Twitter at ITPH Podcast. Or the email address is something we check before every episode. That's insidethepallethouse@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you there. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll be talking to you next week. And thank all you guys for coming out tonight for the fantasy draft. Let's drink some beers and
Yeah, man.
draft a winner. Whoop, whoop. Talk to you soon. Cheers.
Cheers.
Later.
Peace out.
That was a really good podcast.
That was a really good podcast, don't you think?
TFD.